games go, that seems to be right up there. I mean, congratulations. What's your initial impressions of that?
It's been coming. Obviously very proud of the boys. I thought, I thought they executed the game plan really well. And, it was well deserved. There's a lot of guys in that dressing room that have had a really tough season, for a whole lot of reasons. But to be that resolute at the end of all of that, tells me everything I need to know. So I'm extremely proud of them.
I mean, what you just sort of alluded to, what does it do for this group and these players? I know you often hear talk about winning, finishing the season on a positive note, but then 16 games without a win to go up and beat the defending champions who had a Premier's play in their sights. What sort of achievement is this in terms of being able to kickstart something, I suppose?
For me, it's another positive step. I've been saying, even through some of the losses, that there've been some big positives to take from that. Tonight is another massive positive. A win like that will be another part of the foundations of our successes next year and moving forward. And my belief doesn't waver through tough times, and I've been trying to impart that onto the boys, that the hardships are actually the best times, where you learn the most about yourself and about other people around you, and which ones are willing to come with you and work hard, and which ones aren't. And tonight we had a whole group of people that represented themselves and the team and the club really well, and it'll be a huge bit of belief that the boys need.
With 2 goals tonight. Farrell came to do it in as well. Just a couple of words on him.
To be honest, his effort, his effort's always great. His mentality's he's really good. But tonight he put the polish on that, and he put on a performance on the ball that was exceptional. And that's what you need at this level. You need people to stand up. I said it before the game, to the guys. These type of games are opportunities. They're opportunities to make a statement, and they're opportunities for individuals to put their hand up and be noticed. And not only him, but we had others that put their hand up tonight, and they were certainly deserving of the win. And Cal Timmins he's been deserving of a performance like that, because he's another player that's been through a hell of a lot, and he put the polishing touches onto the effort and mentality that we need.
Okay,
well, Ruben, congratulations on the win. Last time we spoke to you was after that 6-0 loss against Western United, and since then there's been a lot of, positive steps. A draw and now a win, and obviously a bit of a tighter loss. What have you seen over the past couple of weeks in terms of progression from where you were at that point? And obviously you're very clear with your message after the game to now, where you've been able to get such a massive win to end the season.
Yeah, so I always try and call it how it is, and tell the truth. And after that game that you're talking about, I was disappointed. I didn't think that the boys showed enough fight, and character in that match. And, we addressed it, and we were honest with the players and gave them some honest feedback. And since then, they've responded and rebounded to that honesty really well, which is always the process for me. You've got to be able to be black and white with it and be clear on, what the level and what the standards are that you're willing to tolerate as a group. And they've picked up their standards massively. And let's not forget, there's 10 of my NPL team out there tonight in that 18-man squad, taking on the strongest team in the country, the reigning champions. Guys like Joseph Ford at 18 years old, been working hard with me for a good year and a half to get into that position, to put himself into the frame to be able to take the pitch with someone like Andrew Naboo. And I think he shut down Andrew really well tonight. And there are a lot of those stories in that group. And I think that the context of that win, will be massive for those players, those young individuals. But they've also learnt the flip side. They've learnt what it's like to lose 6-0 and why. And that process is going to be pivotal for them moving forward and for the club moving forward.
Well, Ruben, obviously this is the last game of your interim stay at the moment. What are your ambitions from here? There is still a vacancy. Do you want the job, bluntly?
Of course, but my ambitions, like I keep saying, even with the final game parked, even with the final game, done and dusted, my ambitions are parked at the moment because, my job is to look after the club, the football club, and to rebuild this team. And that process is well and truly underway. And there's a lot of hard work to be done. Let's not get carried away. We had one win tonight, and it was a good win and a solid win and something that we deserved. But it's just a small step. My focus is on the quality people at this football club that work really, really hard behind the scenes, and have done for a long time. It's a proud club, and we need to get it, off the bottom of the ladder and start climbing. And my personal ambition's parked because I care too much about those around me, and I care too much about the club to worry about myself.
Do you feel like some of those things are in place, Ruben? I know you said it's just one little step, but do you feel like there is some now groundwork pillars that you can actually, build off? Yeah,
I do, but throughout a lot of those games, I saw a lot of pillars. I've seen a lot of positives. If you look at, where our second goal came from tonight, and if you look at, the guys in that dressing room, they know, they understand, and there's been a lot of little wins along the ways, and the results, weren't there with it. But to give some clarity to it, you're talking about the youngest team in Perth Glory history. We've had 4 games at home that I've coached, and we've conceded 2 goals. And in that time, we've played Melbourne Victory and Melbourne City, 2 of the best teams in the competition. And Newcastle Jets, who are one of the best attacks in the competition, along with West Sydney, who are another team that score a lot of goals. So like I've been saying, there are a lot of positives in the way we've gone about our business. The results not good enough, and the results not at the level I expect, not at the level that it will be at next year. But the positives, there are a lot of them at the moment. There are huge positives in that group. For key players that have put their hand up and wanted to lead the young guys, and for young guys that have put their hand up and showed that they belong at this level. So when you add it all up, tonight's probably just a little bit of a climax for the boys to actually feel that win and feel what it feels like when you work that hard for a long period of time. So, to answer your question, I've seen a lot of pillars and a lot of positivity, but there's still a lot of hard work to be done to get us, to where we need to be.
Just saying tonight as well, Ruben, that Josh Rawlings is off to FC Utrecht. I guess reward for what he's been able to do. I'm sure you've worked with him a lot. What sort of step is this?
Look, it's a massive step for Joshy. We've been trying to, to mentor and coach Joshy on what to expect when he gets there. So it's having done that myself and a lot of other coaches that we've got at the club that have been over there and played overseas, we're trying to get him ready because it's a lot different over there. It's a lot tougher. There's a lot more competition for players and teams, and there's a lot more riding on it. So, it's been a tricky process for Josh, but he's one of our academy players, and it shows that the system's working. It gives the other young academy players belief. And for us to finish that game and have one of our boys going off to play in Europe is a massive positive for him, and it's a massive positive for the club. And we hope that there's more, and it shows that the pathway's clear. So, we wish Joshy all the best, and we know he's still got a long way to go to get to the level that he can do. But if his attitude is like it was tonight, it was consistent for 90 minutes, and his focus is like that, then he's definitely a player for the future.
Okay, Nick Taylor, do you want to jump in?
Yeah, just a couple of quick ones, Ruben. The defence, well structured, obviously stuck to what you told them, but they actually seem as if they're enjoying themselves out there today. Is that something you told them to do? What about a smile on their face? Yeah,
we did. We touched on that. The bigger the game, the bigger the moment, the bigger the opportunity. And we spoke about earning it. We spoke about going out there and being willing to earn the victory, and that comes from being willing and able to work hard for each other. And especially when you play a real top side, you've really got to be willing to get into that battle and into that grind. And we spoke about it before the game, but I agree, you could see the players. I've seen it not just in this game, I've seen it in other games, like I keep saying, but tonight they got their rewards for it. But they really enjoyed the battle and they enjoyed the grind, and that's what it takes. At the top level is you've got to embrace the toughness of the game. And because our squad's been so young, in this period that I've coached, they get found out in moments. But tonight they put in a performance for 95 minutes, and they certainly enjoyed it when the game was on, but they enjoyed it more, afterwards, being in that dressing room together and actually looking around and going, well, that's what it feels like when you don't carry anyone. And that's something that I'm really big on. My team's You know, at any level that I've coached, you know, we don't carry anyone. Everyone's got to be willing to get into that grind. And I thought, you know, tonight they look like a Ruben Zadkovich coached team to me.
They're enjoying it now, but obviously back to work tomorrow because you've still got that FA Cup qualifier in front of you now.
Yeah, correct. And that's going to be like an extremely difficult task because we'll be on the road. You know, we're still a depleted squad, and we'll have a lot of tough times. But at least we've got time to prepare, which will be nice. We'll get back on the training pitch. A few guys in there were, you know, staff and players joking about having a day off. But those that know me well know that I'm not interested in days off. I'm interested in hard work. I'm interested in building. I'm interested in getting better. I'm interested in improving. And we've certainly got a lot of improvement needed in a lot of areas at this club, and tomorrow will be another day to get back on the grass and improve.
And maybe just one more question. Darryl Upman put it in again, didn't he? I mean, he's played every game this year, and he just keeps giving.
He is. I've spoken a lot about Daz, you know, obviously after games and even leading into games about how well he's done to lead that group. He's a player that fits, you know, the way I want to play really well. To be honest, I love how composed he is on the ball. I love what he brings with the ball, not just the way he defends. And tonight I thought he was a shining light again. The other big positive for a guy like Darryl is he's willing to listen and he's willing to learn. He's embracing that process of getting better and growing as a person and a player. And you know, that's something that, you know, on a one-on-one type, you know, of coaching, that which I really enjoy, is getting to really know someone and getting to understand how they work. And you know, me and Darryl have certainly got a good relationship at the moment, and I love how hard he's willing to work to improve and grow.
Thanks, mate.
And just finally, Ash, if you've got a question.
Yeah, hi Ruben, congratulations on the win.
Thanks, Ash.
So was this a game that I guess is a prime example of the type of football that you've been trying to implement?
In small moments, yes, but to be honest, it's still miles off, you know, what it looks like in my head and what it looks like when my teams, you know, let's say, have been together long enough to understand and had enough time to work on it. We want to be more dominant in the game. We don't want to defend, you know, for as much as we have had to in the last few weeks. And so yeah, Ash, in moments, definitely. Especially with the ball, there were some really nice patterns that we worked on, and you know, we played through their press really well under pressure, which is something that I'm big on. So there were definitely glimpses, but you know, I'd be lying if I said that's the model. It's a long way off, and there's a lot of work needed for sure.
And sorry, just last one from me. I know Nick already briefly touched on this, but the win tonight, does I guess that help your campaign in the hopes for a potential permanent coach, do you believe?
Look, I think I'm not so sure about the win, but I think you know, some of the young players' performances tonight, you know, the directive that I've been given is to try and, you know, get as many of our young assets out on the pitch because, you know, at the time I took over, we're dead last and the season's pretty much done. So, you know, the goalposts change, and I think I'll be getting judged on not so much the result, but how players are going and how the team's, you know, performing together. And I'm sure there are positives, but like I said before, you know, my personal ambitions and whether or not I'm doing a good job or a bad job are irrelevant to me. You know, what matters to me is the club and the club improving, and you know, that rebuilding process is really important that we start now. And we've been working really, really hard. You know, all of the staff, all of the players as a group, and the win's just you know, a nice special thing to end the season and give a bit more belief into what we're doing.
Of course, thanks for that.
Okay,
Cheers.
we'll hold it there, guys.